What is meditation? Meditation is an ancient art of mental cultivation. The ancient sage and mystics all agree that meditation is a necessary aspect of spiritual development. In fact, some traditions believe that meditation is the only way to attain liberation from all sufferings and pain in this worldly existence. Today, many people are beginning to be aware of the benefits of meditation in coping with the various sources of stress in their daily lives. In addition, the practice of meditation on a regular basis has been shown to improve health, mood, and vitality. The final goal of meditation is total purification of the mind. This is achieved through constant practice of mindfulness of thoughts, feelings, and bodily sensations. In our daily lives, we go about our activities in a dreamlike state. We are not fully aware of our thoughts, feelings, and bodily sensations. In fact, when we looked at it, we are not truly the master of our thoughts, feelings, or body senses. We are slaves to them. Our thoughts jump from one subject to another in an instant, and very often without our ability to direct where our thoughts should go. The same thing happens with our feelings. No wonder we have outbursts of anger and irritations. Needless to say, we are consciously seeking new pleasurable body sensations every moment of our waking state, and we make every effort to avoid unpleasant sensations. Thus, when we encounter even a little bit of discomfort, we complain or grumble about it. The practice of meditation increases our self-awareness and expands our consciousness. We will eventually reach a state of heightened awareness where we are much more in touch with our thoughts, feelings, and sensations. For most people, however, meditation offers them a simple way to cope with living. It brings about a higher level of self-awareness, insight, and more importantly, increased threshold to stress. The two states of our mind. The sleep state. We live our lives every day in a hypnotic state, with very little awareness of who or what we are, and what we are experiencing within and without us. So, although we are physically awake and doing things, our mind is as if it is asleep or in a stupor or daze, not fully comprehending or experiencing life. In this state, we are not aware of who we really are and the kind of power that we have over our own lives. We do not realize how our internal thoughts and beliefs influence our external experience. Thus, many people end up believing that their lives are fated, when in fact the truth is that they have much more control and power over their lives than they realize. The natural state of being. Many meditation teachers illustrate the state of our mind by using the analogy of an onion. An onion has layers upon layers, and you'll have to peel each layer by layer to finally get to its core, which in actuality is empty. That emptiness is a potential for good or bad, for happiness or suffering. That emptiness is the natural state of our being. In this natural state of being, all things are possible, but we cannot access or even see this natural state of our being because we are clouded by layers upon layers of defilements, beliefs, concepts, notions, presumptions, assumptions, etc. It is important to realize that emptiness in this sense does not mean nothingness. It does not mean zero. A better way of looking at it is that it is infinity. But even that does not come close to the true essence of emptiness. Emptiness actually encompasses everything that is. In this natural state of being, where the mind is free from defilements, the experience is one of joy, bliss and knowing, and of oneness with nature or creation. The quality or characteristics of this natural state of being is unconditional love and wisdom. The way. In order to reach and re-experience this natural state of being, we need to peel off each of these defiled layers of our mind. The more layers we peel off, the more aware or awakened we are to our natural state of being, and the more control we have over our lives and what we attract into our lives. The way to reach this natural state of being is through constant meditation. What happens in meditation is that we learn to still our thoughts. Our thoughts or constant mind chatters is a distraction that prevents us from seeing and experiencing our natural state of being. When our mind is busy thinking, it cannot experience itself. By stilling our mind or our thoughts, we gradually experience our true nature. This is like the early morning mist that gradually clears, allowing us to see everything clearly. One way to illustrate our mind in its natural state and the present state of our mind is by using the analogy of a glass of water. That glass of water is our mind in its natural state, clear, clean, and full of potential. Gradually, however, we contaminated it with negative thoughts, fear, doubts, false beliefs, and concepts. This contamination is similar to contaminating that glass of clear water with sand, sediments, and all kinds of defilements. Pretty soon, we cannot even see through that glass of water anymore because it has become cloudy. The way to purify that contaminated glass of water is to pour more clean water into the glass. As we pour more and more clean water into the glass, the once contaminated and cloudy water will gradually turn clearer and clearer until we can see through it again. This is what happens when we meditate. Another illustration is by comparing our mind to a garden. Our natural state of being is a garden that has fertile soil for all sorts of plants to grow. Its potential is unlimited. In order to get a beautiful garden, we must tend to it by removing weeds and undergrowth on a regular basis, and by planting only the trees, shrubs, and plants of our choice. Our mind works the same way. We have to constantly guard it against negative thoughts and emotions, which are like weeds in our mental garden. We guard this by being constantly aware of our thoughts or being mindful. At the same time, we plant good thoughts and emotions in our mental garden by constantly bringing to mind all positive thoughts and emotions. In this way, we will attract only good things into our lives. Scientific evidence for meditation. Is meditation just some new age hype, or is there really some scientific truth to its benefits? Scientists today are ever more intrigued by the many benefits that regular meditators seem to get from their practice. As more and more researchers and clinical studies are conducted, we are consistently getting the same results. Meditation has real benefits to our overall health and well-being. Brain waves change. As far back as the 1960s, scientists have been trying to map the brain waves activities of regular meditators and compare them to normal people. They found that regular meditators have more frequent brain waves in the alpha range as compared to non-meditators. Under normal circumstances, our brain waves are in the beta range, above 14 Hz. People with anxiety, worries, and agitation have brain waves at the upper range of beta, while the rest of us who are normal are at the lower range of beta. Alpha brain waves between 8 and 14 Hz are found in people who are calm and relaxed. At this range, the brain is very receptive to learning and creativity. Some people refer to this state as a state of super learning. As the brain waves slow to theta range, between 4 and 8 Hz, we achieve a state of heightened creativity and a closer awareness of our subconscious mind. The slowest brainwaves range of delta, 0 to 4 Hz, is found in our sleep state. Biochemical changes in our body. Regular meditators also have increased level of endorphins in the body. A high level of endorphins increases threshold to pain and stress, makes one feel better, sleep better, and concentrate better. Blood flow changes in the brain. With the advancement in medical technology, doctors are now able to measure precisely the amount of blood flow to specific parts of our brain by using functional MRI. Using functional MRI, doctors researching on the effects of meditation noted that senior Tibetan monks who meditate regularly have increased level of blood flow to their brain compared to the normal individual. Some of these increased blood flows into areas of the brain that normally receive only small amount of blood. We see also changes in the neurons. Neurons are nerve cells that are found abundantly in the brain and the nervous system of the body. In the past, scientists believed that once neurons are matured, they cannot grow anymore, and injured neurons have very slow recovery rate. Neurons communicate with one another via a connection called dendrite. A dendrite is an extension from one neuron to another. However, researchers are now finding out that regular meditators seem to be able to grow more dendrites in their neurons than the average person. This increase in dendrites translates into an increased integration between the neurons, and therefore between the two sides of the brain as well. Thus, a meditator appears to have better overall integration of his physical body, emotion, and mind, not just subjectively, but also objectively. The benefits of meditation. The benefits of meditation extend all the way from wellness in the physical body to emotional and mental wellness to spiritual development. In fact, many sages and spiritual teachers agree that the only way to re-experience the divinity in you and to know the natural state of being is through meditation. There is no shortcut and no one else can do it for you. You have to walk the path. How meditation influences our life. It has been shown for some time now that our thoughts influence our emotions, and that in turn influence our body and behaviors. Our thoughts therefore create our destiny. Scientifically, it has been shown that our thoughts and emotions produce chemical changes that affect our blood and hormonal levels, and this in turn affects changes in our muscles, cells, nerves, and body. The observation is that positive thoughts and emotions result in positive effects to the body, and negative thoughts and emotions lead to negative effects. For example, regular meditators tend to have normal blood pressure, feels calmer and more relaxed. In addition, regular meditation leads to a heightened sense of self-awareness or mindfulness that enable one to be much more in touch with one's body, feelings and thoughts, and therefore allow better integration of all these three aspects. This leads to a life that is whole and more in tune with our true nature. Therapeutic mindfulness. Psychiatrists are also finding out that meditation has great benefits for their clients. Through meditation, people are in a better position to cope with their daily stress. What happens is that meditation results in a change in perceptions on life and problems. This change in perception has been given many different names, such as reframing and paradigm shift. but they all mean the same thing. Externally, the situation has not changed, but internal belief has. Meditation leads to insights about life and our true nature. Although these insights may seem small, the effects on our lives result in big changes that can sometimes be considered transformational. For example, people with chronic diseases such as arthritis may continue to experience pain, but they do not suffer as much anymore. For them, pain may be present and even unavoidable, but suffering is optional. Healing destructive emotions with meditation. Many people find meditation to be very useful in healing destructive emotions such as anger and guilt. Destructive emotions can be healed through these 4 steps. 1. Recognize or identify the emotion. 2. Acknowledge the emotion. 3. Express the emotion. And finally, 4. Let go, forgive, and accept. Recognize or identify the emotion. This is a very important first step. If we cannot even identify or recognize our emotion, how can we even try to deal with it? So learning to identify our emotion is essential. Meditation helps us to be more in touch with our feelings and therefore more aware of the types of emotion we are experiencing. Acknowledge the emotion. There is no right or wrong feelings, just feelings we like or don't like. Feelings are just feelings. There is no need to put a value to our feelings. However, it is important to acknowledge our feelings instead of pushing it into the deep recesses of our subconscious mind. Burying our feelings in an attempt to ignore it only allows them to brew into bigger, unmanageable feelings that will manifest in other forms later. Express the emotion. Whatever is suppressed or repressed gets expressed in other ways. In some instances, these repressed emotions get expressed in physical illnesses, including cancer. So it is important to find a positive way to allow full expressions of our feelings. Let go, forgive, and accept. Although it may seem logical to simply let go of our negative and destructive emotions, it is not as easy to do it in reality. We have a habitual tendency to cling on to everything we claim as our own, and that includes our emotions. Learning to let go of our emotions means accepting our emotions without judgment or putting a value to them. It may require forgiveness on our parts, forgiving ourselves and others. Acceptance becomes easier with constant meditation practice. We can hold on to our destructive emotions such as anger for years, or we can decide to let it go. The choice is ours to make. The forgiveness process. Effects of meditation. Meditation is not just hype or some new age mumbo jumbo. It has a real effect on our body, emotion, mind, and even spirituality. Let's take a closer look at some of these effects. Effects of meditation on the body. Studies have shown that certain people are more likely to have cancers than others. Researchers label these people as having a cancer personality. People with such a personality are usually overly eager to please others to the extent of self-sacrificing. Also, he or she believes that he or she needs to do that for acceptance. They have low self-esteem and deep down inside feels a sense of hopelessness. They feel trapped by circumstances. The reason why these sorts of people are prone to cancer is because whatever emotions or feelings that are suppressed or repressed eventually find expression in the body. Through meditation, one is able to be more aware of his or her feelings and allow those feelings to be expressed in a safe and healthy way. There is also a greater level of acceptance, resulting in an ease in letting go. Effects of meditation on the mind and emotion. Unresolved emotions and conflicts not only act on the body, but also find expression in other ways. We may feel more stressed, confused, clouded, and unexplained feelings of ambivalence, conflicts, and indecision. After all, whatever you resist will persist, and they will continue to persist until and unless you give it acknowledgement and expression. Meditation gives us that extra degree of clarity to recognize, acknowledge, and resolve our unresolved emotions. Effects of meditation on daily life. Meditation brings a greater level of self-awareness to our lives. Through this greater self-awareness, we are able to understand ourselves better and are better able to recognize our thoughts and emotions. This gives us tremendous power to control our lives and how we respond to events in our life. It empowers us, transforms us, and gives us the flexibility for self-expression. Meditation also makes it easier for us to forgive ourselves and others, to be non-judgmental towards everyone, and to avoid the blaming game. It further raises our threshold to stress, increases understanding and concentration, as well as improves relationships. Transformation in meditation occurs through perceiving small insights about life that can lead to big changes in the way we see life. It can change our belief systems and raise our overall consciousness. Effects of meditation on spirituality. The ancient mystics used meditation as a tool for spiritual evolution. For many, meditation is still the only way to achieve spiritual awareness. Through raising the level of consciousness and insights, one is able to access the meta-consciousness or universal consciousness that leads to spiritual knowledge. Some may even achieve occult or psychic powers such as clairvoyance or greater intuition. Others have reported out-of-body experience. The ultimate achievement is freedom or liberation from sufferings. Through meditation, we can realize and know that we are spiritual beings manifesting in physical bodies to experience the physical realms. We are not just physical beings in search of a spiritual experience. However, for many people, meditation is initially taken up in order to experience benefits related to our day-to-day physical lives. As they progress, they will eventually experience a spiritual transformation.